a very warm welcome to all of you to yet another action-packed episode of Icons Behind Brand video interview series, Marketing Today and Tomorrow, where we are going to have a conversation with some of the preeminent figures in the industry. And I'm super excited to welcome our today's guest, who is a true storyteller and has contributed towards building compelling brand imagery through public relations and corporate communications. With over 18 years of extensive experience, she has worked with substantial companies like GE, Canon, General Motors, and now in Philips. I welcome Ms. Geetika Bangia, who is leading PR and communication at Philips Limited. A very warm welcome to you, Geetika.
Thank you so much, Devleena, and it's a wonderful being here today, and this wonderful platform that you and your team, that's the Icons Behind Brands, and thank you so much for inviting me.
And we are elated to have you on board with us, Geetika. It's our privilege to have you here on Icons Behind Brand. So,
sure.
With 18 years of experience in the field of public relation and corporate communication, so how your journey has been and what are the changes and challenges been so far, Geetika, over the period of time?
Okay. Devleena, to start with, my journey of over 18 years now in the field of communications has been very enriching, very enlightening, with a lot of learnings, which I would say that I have added them as stepping stones in my entire career path till date. So one thing that I would like to highlight here is, before getting deeper into details, is that I have realized that in my career, and especially working in this domain, in this segment, this particular function, here contacts don't work, but connect matters. So that's one learning, one experience that I would like to share and begin the talk here that we are having. And that is exactly what I feel, and I have experienced this staying in this industry for close to 2 decades now. And one of the most important aspects that I have harped on while I have been here for so long now. When I talk about challenges, yes, there have been many challenges, like we all have, whether we come to any realm of life. Life is all about challenges.
Right.
So, however, I would like to put them as learnings rather than using the word challenges. And why do I say this? Because I have a reason behind it. That when you start your career, whether it was me, whether it's you, whether be it anyone, any professional, and you start your career in any domain, any function, any segment, any industry, everything seems to be a challenge for you when you begin. You have a lot of teething problems. And because you're doing a lot of things for the very first time, you do not know that where you would be landing up, what would be the exact result.
Right.
However, with time passing by, you realize that when you take these challenges head on, and that I would term them as more of learnings. They are those experiences that help you grow as a professional in your journey, in your career, and more of an experience rather than a challenge. Because one thing I would like to point out, or I would like to stress here, is experience is directly proportional to learning, and learning is directly proportional to experience. So I think that's one thing that I have experienced it, and it has stayed on with me and helping me to sail through the whether they are the hard waters or the soft waters. When answering to your the changes, the other piece of the question that you shared with me, communications is the heart of any marketing profession that you take up. And yes, it has seen a lot of changes, and it has been a continuous change process that has been happening. It has not been, stagnant even for a moment. And the process, neither, the ecosystem that you are operating in, people around you, society around you, your communities around you. Everything is changing. So I would mention this as it's a broad spectrum change that happens around you. And as we say, change is the only constant thing in life. And so is with the communication space. The functionality of the communications has also changed drastically over the last, I would say, more than 10 years now. And it was a fabulous realm to work even 2 decades back, and it continues to remain a fabulous profession to work even today. And there has been a big difference now that how PR and communications was 10 years back and what it is right now. The importance, or I would say, the impact of communications has grown manyfold over the last 10 years, I would say that very precisely. And it is primarily because the organizations, the companies, the brands, they very deeply now they have started understanding the importance of having a true public image, that public imagery. And believe me, brands, organizations, they are ready to put their best foot forward to avoid any kind of critical situations. So with the increase, and there's one more thing that has further added on to it, that with the increase with time, there has been I would say a humongous increase in the number of public platforms that we are seeing now. So this, in totality, the communications, whether it's public relations or it is corporate communications, summing it all together, this profession, it stands, stands on the public views, which is now very open to criticism at every stage when we talk about, whether it is good, bad, whether it is positive, negative, neutral. It's absolutely open now. So I would say that there's one more piece that I would like to add here is when we are talking about the change in communications, and especially over the last 2 to 3 years, and ironically, thanks to COVID, there has been a paradigm shift, a complete 360-degree turnover, be it any field, and communications was one of the top ones which got affected and which experienced this paradigm shift at a large pace. And why was that? Because there was a shift in the consumer preferences. There was a shift in the consumer communication pattern. That's the way, and we usually term in that language, that's called the CCP, the consumer communication pattern. And also the another CCP, the content consumption pattern, that how exactly the end consumer who is attached to your brand is consuming the kind of content you are putting in front of your consumer. Whether the consumer is actually digesting it, not liking it, or just not paying heed towards it because the consumer does not feel relevant enough to get connected to the brand. So that's where, Devleena, we have seen a huge shift in those patterns, which is directly connected to the consumer. And when I'm saying this, when I would like to take a step back and take a wider, or I would say a more broader view, wherein the brands, even the communication professionals associated with the brands, they need to really look for, reskilling themselves, recalibrating themselves, and also realigning with the new ways by which the communicator can reach out to their audiences very effectively. So talking about my journey in specific, so these are the 3 main points where, I have learned over the last so many years that when you need to adapt yourself to the changes, you got to reskill yourself, realign and recalibrate. So I would say the 3 R's here. So it's not about, in totality, it is not about challenges. I would term it as new beginnings. wherein you as a communicator stand in that position that you are able to connect with your consumer, hear your consumer, and create that effective content by which you can connect with your consumer. So that's how I would sum up my journey till date.
So there couldn't be any more relevant answer which I could have thought of, which you just explained. Where context doesn't work, connects work. So that is the heart of any communication. If you lose the connect, it is all gone. So just maintaining the connect.
Exactly.
Your internal, external teams,
Yes.
and your stakeholders is a very crucial part of the communication.
Indeed.
So now, see, brands talk about their higher purpose, right? So how do we look upon the purpose-driven communication, right? So being relevant is all about your purpose-driven communication, and why it is so important for the brands. If you can just help us with some best practices on the purpose-driven communication, Geetika.
Devleena, you have actually picked up that's a very interesting question that you have, and it's a very good conversation point, especially in today's scenarios where purpose-driven and this recent phenomenon of being purpose-driven or having a purpose-driven communication from the brands has actually taken the industry by storm. It's there to stay, and it just came as a rage, and everyone is now feeling connected to it. And I would like to share, some of my experiences here, that how it is important for a brand here. We are all working with brands. We create connects, and we create content. And with this content, the brands are trying to make a statement,
Right.
a solid statement, which directly, indirectly connects to their own vision or the mission that they are talking about. Going beyond just selling products, just selling services, okay, that I have this product or I offer this kind of a service, that's not just enough now. Those days are gone. Those days are a history now. So they are now wanting to take a stand for something they believe in, that they truly want to portray their vision and the mission that they are working around. And most of the brands are now, getting into this persona of purpose-driven communication. The brands which try to do this, they are, I would say, a word, manifestation of how we as consumers, we wish to see the world around us.
So, as you mentioned in the very beginning of this, conversation, Geetika, that you need to target on their mind share, rather than their wallet share, and
Yes.
that is how all the brands have simply focused on the mind share and a heart connect with every consumer. Like Nike,
Absolutely.
brilliant on all their campaigns throughout. I mean, they are known for this.
Yes.
And the Ariel, that was a shift, that was a massive shift in people's mind. So how brands should balance between truth well told, at the same time not overselling, overclaiming, or over-promising the things. So this is a fine balance. I think there the part of the communication comes again in the picture.
Storytelling and the truth well told. So these are like two different aspects where you got to marry them together. And this is something which is very much prevalent in the world of communication, the world of marketing, when we talk about it in totality. If you actually see a day in a life of a consumer, you as a consumer, myself as a consumer, so I'm sure on an average, we can just have a hypothetical figure here. On an average, we receive a bombardment of emailers, of communications that are coming to us as a consumer, almost close to about 40, 50 pieces a day.
Yes.
I'm just talking an average.
Yes.
So it could be 40 a day, and even on weekends, it might increase up to 50 or
Yeah,
55.
even more.
Even more. So you have that continuous pinging on your mobile phone, and when you have your settings on your applications that you've done this offer, that offer, and especially the festive season now round the corner, so it will increase.
Yeah.
So it, in that scenario, Devalina, it actually becomes difficult for a consumer and even difficult for a brand indirectly to strike that balance, which you mentioned in your first piece of the question that you asked, to strike that balance, or I would say to strike that right chord with the consumer, also to maintain that recall, that remembrance chord, I would say.
Absolutely. So, being positive in each and every communication, which resonates with the consumer's mindset, is the key of any communication for any particular brand.
Yes, absolutely, Devlina. The more positive, the more positivity you generate in your consumer will feel more connected towards you, especially in these, negative scenarios where everyone is feeling so pulled down that, the fear factor that we are talking about always, you got to safeguard yourselves, you got to safeguard your family, you have to be cognizant, you got to be careful, you got to be on your guard, you have to be safe. And so everything is always in that, that blockage, or not blockage, under those four walls of safety that you need to confine yourself. Right. And when brands, they come up with more positive communication, that's where the consumer gets that confidence, the consumer gets that trust in your brand, that yes, there is someone to take care.
And that's a big responsibility for each and every brand, to take care of
Yes.
consumers' well-being.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
brands have, they have performed their duties. We have seen in last 1.5 year, they have built the trust,
Indeed.
connected with their consumer very well, apart from selling product and services. So we have seen the examples.
We have indeed seen those examples, and wherein the consumers have actually the brands have actually gone out of their way and built and come up with those out of the box campaigns, wherein they have been able to strike that right chord, that emotional, that empathy, the 2 E's that we talk about. And, or I would say the 3 E's, where is you have the empathy, wherein you have constant engagement, and of course the last E that we spoke about, that's engagement, empathy, and emotional connect. So the 3 E's, and I think that has worked very well for most of the brands.
Yeah. So empathy, engagement, and emotional connect. So it's a right way to, frame out your communication towards the brand.
Yes, absolutely.
So it sounds easy, but at the same time, communication has a huge, responsibility. So as a communicator, Geetika, what principles do you rely upon during the toughest moment of your time?
Oh. And, it's always said that PR and communications is synonymous to crisis. That's the other word. Yes, and so almost now close to 2 decades, seen it number of times now, and it will keep on coming. It's an endless thing. So I would like to say here one toughest moment, as you've asked, 3 words: managing a crisis. I would say is one of the toughest moments in the life of a communicator. And as a communication professional, so one faces umpteen number of situations during your career where you actually have to go ahead and manage a crisis. And it can become a really crucial one when you are working for a brand and you have that big responsibility to respond or, to that crisis situation immediately with no given time, but with the right approach. Because at that time, you do not know what you are trying to attempt. You have this 10 number of things happening in front of you. You have 10 ways. So it's all about that, which is that one right way, which is that one right path that I'm going to pick up as a communicator that will work right for me. So it's like you're trying to attempt. You do not know what you're trying to attempt. You do not know what will be the actual outcome of that attempt. And you are trying to do something, or you're trying to manage a crisis with a lot of things around you. There's a lot of pressure on you. I would like to say something very interesting here. This suddenly comes across my mind. During a crisis, you know the problem, but you do not know the problem statement. And that's the one. You really know the problem. Yes, that's the problem. But what is the problem statement? Where am I going to lead this now? Where is this going to go?
Right.
So you do not know the problem statement. And that's where the point is, when you are trying to hit in the dark. And the biggest thing that you have to achieve is, during crisis management as a communicator, is that your outcome has to be 100% right and in favor of the brand that you are associated with, the brand that you're working for, the organization that you're working for.
Thank you for taking us through the clear way how to tackle a crisis situation, because being a brand, before you are a human being, you get overwhelmed. You also get overwhelmed by the messages and by the situation.
Of course.
How to respond it better. So be the first one to communicate and communicate the right information and be transparent. So this is going to bring a lot of value to the aspiring brand managers, marketers, because these are the things you really need to follow. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
With a very clear, precise points, Geetika, on this particular point. Yeah. So as you move forward. Yeah. So how do you look upon the future of communication? How does it look like?
I would put the future of communication under 3 pillars. First, personalization. Second, customization. And third, technology. Today, be it you, be it me, be it anyone, any consumer, everyone, we all want to read, we all want to view the content which is relevant for us without wasting time. We all are extremely busy.
Right.
And we have our own routine sets. We have our own day-to-day, routine that we have been following. However, we as a consumer want that break of the monotony and have some interesting content where, I can just put it up on my mobile phone. I just click on the notifications, on the news, or whatever I am fond of, and see that relatable content which makes me more connected towards the brand.
Superb. So it's like very precise, customized, and you just have to make it available for the consumer in whatever way they want to consume it. Is the future of marketing, if I have to sum it up, right?
Yes.
And with that, we are now moving towards a very interesting section of the conversation, which is a rapid fire round, and you need to answer one word here. Yeah.
Okay.
So, what is leadership to you?
My mantra of leadership? I would like to quote Michael Jordan here. Talent wins games, but
Wow.
teamwork and intelligence wins championships.
Super. What is a book you're planning to read?
That will be The Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Eger.
Who has been The greatest influence to you?
So I really admire Warren Buffett
Mhm.
and Steve Jobs, because both of them, they have not only been very good communicators, they have been excellent orators.
When are you most inspired?
I feel most inspired when I achieve the objective which I have set for myself as a target.
And what is the best thing that has happened to you this year?
Rebooting myself.
Wow.
I actually, in fact, during even last year and this year, I rebooted myself in terms of upgrading my skill sets.
Early in the morning or late in the night? What kind of person you are?
I am a completely early morning person. No late nights for me.
So, what is the best compliment you have ever received?
Okay, I can remember. That was years back, and that was, I think, at one of my bosses whom I worked with almost about, I think, 8-9 years back, and he gave me this compliment that I have the best assets of becoming a communicator, which are needed for becoming a very good communicator, is that I'm an agile and an aggressive person, at the same time.
Wow. What is an important life lesson for someone to learn?
Present is past and future is today.
Wow.
That's, I think, one very important lesson, especially.
So, what is your message to the aspiring marketers?
At the end of the day, we are all communicators. We have different terminologies, different names to those different people who are associated with the brand.